अब हम चलें अब हम चलें अब हम चलें अब हम
यस मैम आ रही है।
अब हम अब हम लेक्चर स्टार्ट करते हैं अपना। बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। Today's our lecture topic is the types of sorry we will discuss today's the data and data its processing. Okay, first of all we will discuss about the data and its types. So I will open this chapter and after that I will start it. Okay. It will take some time. Okay, it's the data and its types. For this purpose you know that what's the data. So data is basically a set of raw facts and figures. So if we discuss about the set of the raw facts and figures, you know that what wait I will change the color of this pen from here. Wait. So it's the raw facts. Now for example the raw facts. For example, I collect the data of the college admission forms. See that here will be the student information. It can be the name of student and the cations 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 cations. So these are all the raw data which I have collected. When I organize this, then it is formed, then it is called the information. Information is based or processed or organized form. Processed or organized data. So I hope it is clear to all of you. This is the raw facts and the figures which is converted into the information, which is this, that can be processed and analyzed to gain the insight or make the decisions. Now after that information you can get the decisions. For example, if the student is fulfilling the criteria, he can or she can be get the admission in the university. The next point is it can come from many forms including the numbers, text, images or the sounds. For example, data can be in the different forms just like the forms. The forms can be in. Now I will give you the example of the forms here. Wait, I will open a new slide and you can see that if I give you the forms examples, forms can be in the different forms just like the student admission form, and it can be the patient history form, or the survey forms. In the survey forms you get the information about the population and the literacy rate information. So these are all about the information which we can get from the forms. Now I will move to the next point, which is uh, including the number of numbers. Now I can check what are the including of the numbers. Including the numbers means that how many data you received. Okay, including numbers means data you received. Okay, for example, 500 students or 1000 students. So this all data is the numbers. It is clear till here, students? Students, it's clear to all of you till here? Hello? Hello? Are you listening me? स्टूडेंट्स, आपको मेरी आवाज़ आ रही है?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Then after
Yes,
that,
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
wait. Okay.
Yes,
जी मैम आ रही है आवाज.
चलो ठीक है, मैं इनको एक्सेप्ट कर लूँ. ओके. आप लोग मुझे ना काइंडली चैट में बता दें और यहाँ पे इसको वो ना करें, मतलब क्या कहते हैं, वॉइस में मैसेज ना करें. Okay. Now I will move the next point. Okay. Here we can discuss about the different texts. Okay. What are the texts? And I will mention here the text. So if you want to see that what is the text can be in the form of the documents, and it can be in the form of the all about. These are all about the text. We can save the text in the notepad as well. Okay, I hope it is clear to all of you. Okay, the next point is that different images or the sounds. Images can be scanned and different sounds we can process we can use to process the data. Now the next point is data on its own may not have any much meaning. So you know that data is in the form of raw data. It don't have the meaning. When we process this data, for example, we have the input. It is the data. It is the data. The processing means that we organize this data or organized or arranged this data. Arranged. Okay. Then this data is called information. But once organized, it can process, it can provide the valuable knowledge and help in the various research, such as the research, business, the technology. Okay. For example, if we discuss about the research, here I will show you the example of the research, that how this data can be organized there. For example, I will go here and I will show you the research example. Wait. Here if I show you the research or Google Scholar, so you can see the information about the research. For example, if I show you my profile, now you can see that this is the information, it's my name, and these are my area of specializations. Okay, the next one is these are the total number of the citation, and these are the citation by the year. So this is all about the information of the research. Okay, you can see any author's information by using this. It is clear till here, students?
Yes, ma'am.
यहाँ तक clear है सबको? So Okay. So this is, if you go to the business, okay, now I will show you how you can get the information about the business. Here you can see that there are variety of the business, just like the daraz. So you can see that here will be the information about all things. So this is all about the data of the business. So you can save more apps and you can check the data from here. You can see that here is the 50% off on everything. So this is the data. Here you can see that which applications are applied here. So you can see the price and the off on each item is available here. So this is all about the data, that how many products are sold in a day or in a week or in a month. So this is all about the data. After that they create the information that in this week they have sold out these items. So I hope it is clear to all of you. I will move to the next point, which is the types of data. Types of data are further categorized into the two types. One is the quantitative data and other one is the qualitative data. By the mean of the quantitative data, you can see that the quantity of data. For example, if I go to the market, I will discuss the quantity of data, which is quantitative data. If I go to the market, I can check that I purchase 1 kg and 1 kg rice. So this is about the quantities of the data. Okay, for example, I say that I have a 52 research papers. So this is the quantity of the data. So the quantity of data is calculated in the numeric form. Numeric form starts from the 0 to 9 and it can goes on to the that can be measured and counted. So in the quantitative data you can measure and count anything. So the temperatures, the age, figures and the age. See, these are all the quantitative measures. These are the quantitative measures. Now we will move to the qualitative data. Qualitative data is basically represent the quality of data. The quality of data. For example, this is the descriptive in can observe measured. You purchase a 1 kg sugar or you can purchase a brown sugar. Here will be a box and at the end of the box and or you can which are which are which are which are mentioned, in which you can see that the iron level, okay, and different parameters just like the sugar quantity and everything is available on the qualitative data. So it can be the colors, opinions and the textures of the data. So I hope it is clear to all of you. Now I will move to the next slide, which represents the numeric data. In the numeric data, basically it refers the numbers, which I have already told you. It is often as a quantitative analysis and can be discrete or the continuous. This is divided into the two types. Data. One is the content, other one is the content, other one is the content, other one is the content. So we will discuss the discrete and the continuous data. That what are the discrete and continuous data. Now I will move here. Now I will show you what is the discrete data and what are the continuous data. So here I will mention discrete and continuous data. So I will show you here that how continuous and discrete. So this is the example of the discrete and the continuous data. Discrete and continuous data are the both of the numerical data, but they have the different in the types of the information they represent and how these are measured. Now we will discuss that how these can be measured. Okay, here you can see that the discrete data is the type of data that has a clear spaces between the values, but the continuous data is the data that follows the constant sequence. So here I will show you the image of the discrete and continuous data. For example, if we are discussing about the discrete data, so it can be in the form this value and here will be some space and here this value and here will be some space and this value, but the continuous data is in the form of just like this. So there will be the some breaks in the discrete data and some spaces, but the continuous data is in regular form. I hope it is clear to all of you till here. Okay, now I move to the discrete numeric data. Data that can be only specific, distinct values, often continued. The number of the students in the class 20, 21, 22, these are the number of the students. The number of the cars in the parking, which we can calculate it. The number of phone calls received by a company. So discrete and there is no intermediate values between them. So it's very easy and easy to understand. The next one is the continuous numeric data. In the continuous numeric data, data can be any value within the given range or it can be typically measured. For example, the height of a person is 5.4 feet or the 6.1 feet. The next point, you can calculate the weight of that person. You can calculate the temperature of that person. Here are the some characteristics. Data can be continuous, have the infinite possibilities within the given range, and it can include the decimals or the fractions. For example, 5.4, this is the decimal value, and it can be 5 by 4, so it's the fractional value. It's the fractional value, and it's the 5.4, it's the decimal value. Okay, now we'll move to the next point. Key operations on the numeric data. It can be arithmetic operations, statistical analysis, and the graphs and visuals. Now we will discuss one by one. For example, if we go to the arithmetic operations, so here we will use the DMAS rule. DMAS or BDMAS. DMAS is basically the division, multiplication, addition and subtraction. While in the BDMAS, we create the brackets just like this. Okay, so I hope it is clear to all of you. Now I will move to the statistical analysis. Statistical analysis are basically
Yes,
used
ma'am.
to calculate average, medians, modes and the variances and the standard deviations. So these are the different parameters which are used.
Yes, ma'am.
These are the different parameters which are used to calculate different things. For example, if we are calculating the averages and the medians are basically average is for example 76%. So this is the average. If we calculate the median is the basically the middle or centered value. So this is the median. If we discuss about the mode, the most occurring value. Then we go to the variances and the standard deviation, which are the highest parameters of the statistics. Now the next point is the graphics and the visuals. Graphics and the visuals, if we go here, I show you the graphics. Wait. Now I will allow. Yes, Sanya said. Is there any question? Any student have a question, then kindly tell me one by one. Sania Saeed and Sadika Ahmed, Hunain Ahmed.
No, ma'am.
Do you have any question? Then you can ask me. Is there any question?
No, ma'am.
Okay, then why you raise your hand? Kindly lower these hands if you don't have any question. Okay. Now, wait, where I have to go? I want to show you. Yes, these are the I want to show you the different graphs and the visuals. Here I will go to the insert option, and you can see that there are some graphs or the charts. If you put the data according to your choice, you can see this is the column graph. Okay, if you want to create the line graph, you can apply these, or if you apply the bar chart, you can go this option and select it. Okay, and you can create the graphs here. So the graphs can be different parts, just like the histogram, line graphs, and the pie graphs and the charts. So it is creating here. It will take some time because okay. So if someone asks you that create the charts, so you have to create the chart graph. And if someone says that create the histogram, you can create all the graphs or the pie graphs. Okay, you can see the graphs are created here, and the data is mentioned below according to the each category. Now I will deselect this. Okay, and I will remove the graphs from here. I will move to the next point. Okay, this is the example of the numeric data in the context that where and in in these fields the data is used. It can be used in the business, science, health, and education. For example, how we can use this data in the business? I say that monthly sales numbers, some revenues, and the profit margins, which are business. The next one is the measurements of the time, distance, speed, and the mass values. It's all about the physical sciences. Physics terms. Okay, the next one is the in the health, how we can measure the numeric data by calculating the blood pressure readings, cholesterol levels, and the body temperatures. So body temperature is also calculated into the 2 points Celsius and the Fahrenheit. The next one is the education. In the education, it is used as the test scores, GPAs, and the number of the credits completed. For example, you have the 48 credit hours of your course and your GPA is 3.58, and you can get the score is the 76. So this is all about the numeric data, that how we can use it. Okay, the next point is the alphabetic data. Alphabetic data is basically the data which is started from the A to Z. Okay, it can be capitalized and it can be in the small letters, and it is from 0 to or 1 0 to 25 25 or 1 to 25. Whenever we discuss about the information security, it will be to 20, from 0 to 25. and in other contexts it is from 1 to 26. Sorry. Okay, alphabetic letters data refers the data consists of the letters means A to Z, and characters, for example characters are, you can see that Mona, this is the character of the alphabet. It is usually representing the categories of the names and labels and the textual information. For example, if I use the alphabetic data, I create a box here. I can say name, father name, okay, subjects. So here we can characterize the subjects S1, S4 these are, and S4 these are, and S4 these are the four subjects. So here we can get the information about the data of a student. Now it can be measured or quantified, but in the use of the described items. So these are the categories C1, C2, C3, C3. Okay, this type of the data is often referred as the categorical data. For example, from that I will categorize the students which are the toppers, and the average students, and the nil students. So this is categorized by that. Now I will move to the next point. Types of alphabetic data. Alphabetic data is categorized further into the nominal data and ordinal data. Nominal data and the ordinal data. In the nominal data, data represents the categories with no inherent order or the ranking. So it's the simple nominal data. For example, you can see red, green, blue. These are the standard colors. If I give you the example of the country USA, France, Japan, and other things. Now here are the most top brands, which are the Nike, Adidas, and the Apples, which are all of you are familiar from all these brands. Now what are the characteristics of this alphabetic data? So here you can see that there is no logical order. This one is the first point, and the other one is the ranking between these categories. Each category is simply use a label to differentiate or distinguish between these items. I hope it is clear to all of you. Kindly tell me, is it clear
Yes,
till here?
ma'am.
Then we will move forward. Students, is it clear to all of you till here? Okay. I will admit all these students. Okay. Now I will move to the next. Actually, I am suffering with the high flu and fever. Okay. The next one is the ordinal data. Ordinal data is basically the data that represents the categories with the meaningful order or the ranking. For example, you have ever seen the QoS ranking on the university website, that IIU is at 250 ranking, or the other universities you can see that this is the ordinal data. For example, if I give you the example of your class students, I check the papers and I see that the some students just like A, B, C. So A is on the fifth number, and B is 2, and C is 1. So this is the ordinal data, that how you can give the order or the ranks of that data. So it can be known as the consistent. For example, rating scales. Rating scales are categories, for example, poor, fair, good, or excellent. If you go to the educational level, so In the Pakistan, here is the primary level, then secondary level, then higher secondary. After that, you go to the university level. Same in the case, this is the high school level, undergrad and the graduate. If you see the customer satisfaction level from the business point of view, you can see first star, second star and third star. I will give you the example of just like Django or the InDrive. When you have completed your ride, there will be a survey form where you have to put the stars for the evaluation of the driver. Same in the case whenever you call to the other person on the WhatsApp. If the quality of the call is good or the excellent, you have to put the star. After that, reviews. So these stars basically represents the reviews of that person or website. Now I will move to the characteristics. While there is an inherent order or ranking, the intervals between the categories are not measurable, equal or measurable. So this is all about the ordinal data. I hope it is clear to all of you. Now I will move to the next slide. So here are the different characteristics of the alphabetical data. For example, the first point is the textual nature. By you can see that it's the alphabetical data. So it is consist of the A to Z. So when we combine all these words or all these characters, it can create the characters or the words. For example, character is Mona, and if I make a character is M, I will character is M, and word is Mona, and after that we create the phrases just like Mona is a good girl. Okay, so this is the alphabetical order or the characteristics of the data. Now I move to the quality of the data. Qualitative data that describe categorized items are more quantified than the manipulation. Manipulation means that how you can create the data or use this data into the various forms, various categories. So you can see that there are the different ways in which you can sort. Sort means arranging of the order, arranging the data. For example, I have the students A, B's, D, F, C and G. Now I will sort this data into the order. So these order will be in two forms. For example, it can be ascending or it can be descending. Now it's up to me that in which form I have to sort this data. For example, if I have the marks of the students, so I will sort the data from the top to down. Okay, top to down. So comparing means if I have a data of 2004 and I have a data of 2005 of the student, then I will compare the results that either the students of the 2004 are good, for example they got the 86% and they got so percent. So I will evaluate or the compare on the basis of the years. So I acknowledge that the year 2005 is good related to the 2004. Now I will go to the concatenating. Concatenating means when we combine two types of the data. For example, I say I will give you the example of for example 2 plus 2. When I concatenate them, it is 4. So if I say that rain and when I combine this, then it will be a word rain. So it's the concatenation or the combination of the words. So all the words which have combined with, so you can I can give you one example: eye glasses. So this is the when we concatenate words eye glasses. So these are the characteristics of the data. Now extracting the substrings. Extracting substrings is basically used into the all programming languages. For example, if I say, here I will give you an example. Extracting substrings means, for example, if I have a program, here will be a parent class. After that, here will be the siblings or child class. So this is the main head, or it's divided into the categories. So I hope it is clear to all of you. Now I will move here and I say the arithmetic operation just like the numeric data does. So I told you that arithmetic operations are further categorized into DMAS rule and BDMAS, which we have already discussed. Division, multiplication, addition and subtraction. And here we will use different brackets. Okay, I hope it is clear. Now we'll move to the next slide, which is the uses of alphabetic data. Why we use this alphabetic data? For the identification, for example, for the names and the product labels and the serial numbers, we use the alphabetical data. For example, I will give you the example of the library. Here you will go and you the library and you want to find out the English books. If there is no labeling on the shelves, so these are the shelves where English. The next shelves are the computer. So you have to find the English. Simply go to the English library and you will simply find out the English book easily. And if there is no labeling or the identification of these shelves, then you will go all the library and find out the books. For example, these are the shelves and these are not labeled. So it will be difficult for you to identify the unique books according to your choice. Now I will move to the next point, which is the categorization. In the categorization, you can see that the alphabetical data is commonly used to classify items into groups or the categories. How? For example, I told you that I give you the example of the library. Here are different shelves just like the English, Urdu and physics. So these are all the libraries shelves which you can check. So if you are working in an office, you can see that there is the grouping of the people by their occupation, colors, favorite colors. Now here is the textual information. In the textual information, alphabetic data is used to text analysis and the sentiment analysis and the content categorization. So if you see how you can perform these analysis, so simply you can go here in the review form. So here you can see that you can check the spellings, you can check the accessibility. If you go to the check accessibility, you can see the different points. You can alt the text, you can reading order pane, you can use option or accessibility, or you can translate your data. If I go to the translate option, you can see that here will be some different options which you can use to translate the data. For example, if you translate your data into the English, it's loading, wait. So this data will be easily translated. So here you can see that the English option is available here. I will go here and you can see that there are different options, just like you can change your data. I hope it is clear to all of you. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Students, is it clear? Now we'll move to the next point. Can you tell me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now we'll move to the next. Wait. I will allow these students. Okay. Now this is working little bit slow. We have to do some wait for it. Then I will move further. Okay. Okay. We have discussed in the previous slide where we have discussed about the data and in which context it is used. Now I'll move to the alphanumeric data. In the last slide we have discussed about the alphabetic data. Now I will discuss about the alphanumeric data, that how it is working. If we discuss about the alphanumeric data, so alphanumeric data is basically the combination of two things. First is the alphabets and other one is the numeric values. When we combine both of them, then it is called the alphanumeric data. Here is, for example, some name Sana, and here will be 1, 2, 3. So it is the combination of the alphabets and the numerics as well. Okay, this is the definition, that alphabetic numerical data refers to the data that consists of the both letters, alphabets, characters and the numbers as well. This type of data is widely used to represent the variety of information. So in the last slides I have told you that what is the information. Information is basically arranged form of the data. Arranged form of data. Okay, that may require both the numeric and the textual components. Alphanumeric data can include the combination of the uppercase and the lowercase numbers and sometimes the special characters as well. So here I will discuss that what are the letters. All the letters which are A to Z, these are the alphabets. 0 to 9, these are the numerics, and here are some special characters. These special characters can be hash, asterisk, at the rate, underscore, and these are all the special characters which are used in it. For example, just like this. Okay. So this alphanumerical data is basically used in the creation of the password, just like this Sana. Here will be the first letter will be capitalized and other letter will be smaller, and here we will use any special character just like this, and we will apply these numerical values. So we have created a password. So I hope it is clear to all of you. Now I will move to the next point, which is the types of alphanumerical data. Here, we have discussed into the previous slide. So it is basically used to identify the codes. Okay, for example, you have ever seen or you have applied the HEC website for attestation of documents. So here you can see that they will ask you to create the password. It will be the first letter will be capital, and here will you use the some special characters and 1, 2, 3. So this is the product serial number. If you purchase a shampoo, so at the end of the shampoo you can see these lines. These are the barcodes, and you can see here 1 2 3 4 5 6. This is written. These are called the bar codes. Now license plate numbers. This is the license plate number which is used on bikes and cars as well. And you can check that M tag. When M tag is basically register your number is car number easily. Now you can see the bank account numbers. Bank account numbers is basically IB and accounts, different accounts. Okay, in the different accounts you can see this is start from 0021 201345, but whenever you use the IBN number it will tell which from which country you belong, just like the KPK 574 579, and this is the basically IBAN number in which your country is mentioned here. Okay, I hope it is clear to all of you. Now password and the security codes. So passwords are basically the security codes of your email or your ATM, and whenever you use the ATM, so you use the different pins, and you can use these pins as your mobile security codes as well, and these can be alphanumerical characters and it can use to increase the security. So these are the passwords which are used to uh, more secure your systems. Now these are the access codes. For example, if I give you the link of the Google Meet, so this is the code you can get the access link of Google Meet. Then you can use the access code for Microsoft Team. By if you don't have the access code, you can't join the any link. Now here are the different identification number. Identification numbers are basically your registration numbers by which in the university, and if you are the citizen of the Pakistan, then your identification number will be your CNIC. For example, 37405123456 7 and 9 8. This is the identification number. And if you are working in the organization, there will be some employee ID. Okay, so if you are using a library, so there will be a library card number by which you can get the books from the any organization. Okay, now these are the dates and the times. How these dates and the times are basically working in the data. For example, dates and the times are represents in alphanumerical formats. For example, you can see here, particularly when we are using the text, so you can see we can use this 16 November 2024, and the time and date stamps in the figure just like this. So it is very easy and understandable. I hope it is clear to all of you. Okay, I will take this student. So further I will move to the next slide. Okay, now these are the addresses. Addresses are basically the locations or the zip codes of any area. So these are the locations or zip codes. For example, if I say you that come to the I-10, there will be no location, only I-10. So here will be house number, street number, and then area name and state name. Okay, then you will be able to find out the address. So these are the 4 points which are very essential to use the addresses. So now I will move to the next slide. Okay, these are the characteristics of the alphanumerical data. So whenever we use the alphanumeric data, we can see that this is the mixed content. So it's the mixed content of the alphabets and the numerics values as well. So the next point is that it is used for the meaningful representation of the data. The other point is that it's the versatile. Versatile means that it is the durable and used into the various systems where both letters and the numbers are used. Okay, to require to identify data. The next point is the while 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 alphabetic data in numbers, it is not usually intend the mathematical operations. Mathematical operations are all that operations in which we can use the arithmetic operators, logical, relational. These all operators we used here. Okay, now I will move to the next slide. So it's the example of alphanumerical data in the context where we can use it into the online shopping and the vehicle registration as well. We can apply it in the online ticketing, online shopping, and online admissions as well. Now here are different advantages of the alphanumerical data. So these advantages are just like you can see efficiency, security, and the compactness. So it allows for the efficient and the unique identification of the essential and the many system. How security is used in it? By basically combining the numbers and the letters make it harder to automate it. For example, if I use the password just like this, Sara @ 1 2 underscore and modulus and 3 4 5. So this is the very complex password to encrypt or decrypt. So encryption is here we will discuss about the security. So security is further categorized into two parts. One is the encryption and other one is the decryption. In encryption we use to code this security by using some key. For example, this one is the key, and in the decryption you can decrypt it easily, that the key is Sara @12_1345. So this is the encryption in which the code is converted in this. I can give you the example of your passwords. For example, you are giving the password here just like this. So if you can see, there will be some option just like this: hide or unhide. If you unhide this password, it will be created in this form. I hope it is clear to all of you. Students, is it clear? Kindly respond me, then I will move further. Is it clear, students?